Now, Lancashire Hotpot is quite a classic dish, and normally it's chunks of lamb, and it's warm, it's comforting, it's a classic family favourite. But when I saw it was made with lamb shanks, I had to try that. I've said it before about shanks, they are such a good piece of lamb. Even though they're dead easy to make, they make any meal look fancy. If you haven't seen the Fallow video yet, definitely make sure you watch it. It's the presentation that made it look so cool, and obviously the lamb shanks. But the question is, will mine look anywhere near as good? In the video, he kind of preps as he goes along, but I'm going to get everything prepped in advance just to make things easier. Then we can focus on the cooking. He uses one onion for the initial braising and he quarters them, and the other one he roughly dices. Same thing with the carrots. One is roughly chopped, while the other is done a bit more of a dice. Just gonna mix these together, they're all going at the same time. Not gonna bother separating them. Something so satisfying about chopping celery. It crunches really nicely. I'm gonna run my knife through these again, they all look a little bit too big. And there you go as well. Potatoes are gonna be sliced as well, but I will do that closer because I don't want them browning too much. Right, what's the next part? Let me get cleared up a little bit. Interestingly, they do something I've not seen before, and that's coating the lamb shanks in flour. I think he says because the sauce needs to be really thick for a hot pot. So we'll give that a go. These are absolute monsters. Not sure I was meant to get this bigger shank, but ain't no bad thing, right? I'm gonna struggle to fit these in my pot, I think. This is the large pot I own, so I hope it's big enough, but I think it's going to be tight. The first thing they do is sear off the outsides of the lamb shanks before we start braising. And then I don't want to get my hands dirty again. I so rarely use these. We'll chop these in maybe 2 at a time. I'm just going to use tongs. There we go. It's really hard to get it perfectly brown all the way around with the shape of these, but I'm not going to stress about that. And in the video, they already start chucking in onions and things to help bring moisture out, to bring up the fond, so we're going to do the same. Chucking the carrots as well. Now, I normally put 3/4 of a red wine bottle in, leaving 1 glass for the chef. These guys are even more generous, and they say 3/4 of the bottle goes to the chef, so happy days. Let that cook off for a little bit, making sure I've got all that fond off as well. Next in is beef stock. Now, they clearly made their own, but I have not got any to hand. Quite a big fan of this brand, True Foods. Just help things along. Bit of seasoning sounds good. Salt, pepper. He recommends thyme. Works very well with lamb, apparently. As I always love with lamb shanks, it's lid on and put in the oven for 3.5 hours to become really well braised, really soft, really delicious meat. So I'll pop this in the oven about 160 degrees, I believe they said. And I'll see you in 3.5 hours. Here we are. I actually took the lid off for like the last half an hour or so. Not sure if I was supposed to, but couldn't help myself. Just try and get a bit of roastiness on the top of the meat there. But it is looking pretty good. Next step is now to try and remove these bones. Hopefully the meat is soft enough that it should just glide off. And then we're going to keep these bones because that's part of the presentation. I love that idea. Right, need another pot now. Here we are. Right, now we're going to be making the next component. I'm going to saute the mirepoix in some melted butter. Great thing when I try to cook like in a restaurant, I can just use loads and loads of butter. Hit that with a pinch of salt. I say this needs a good sort of 5-6 minutes to sweat down. I'm going to keep it moving so it doesn't get too brown. A real shepherd's pie vibe this, but the whole lamb shanks thing and the sliced potatoes that go on top just makes it feel like such a more elevated level, even though Lancashire Hotpot doesn't sound particularly fancy. Onion's starting to look a little translucent. In the video, they mince the garlic really finely with a knife, spread it through salt and stuff, but I'm not going to be doing that. Crush is good enough for me. I'm stirring that garlic in just for about a minute or so. Then next in is a tablespoon of flour. Mix that in. Right, just going to turn the heat off on that for a sec because I realize I need to take the lamb meat out before I can strain in the stock. Cool this up. It was recommended to try and keep these pieces as whole as possible, so I'm not trying to break too much up. Ooh, doesn't this look good? Right, next up is pouring the sauce in because I happen to have a similar sieve to them. I'm going to try and copy what they did, which is, he doesn't use all of it, but I think most of it. Get all that good stuff out. Beautiful. Oh yeah, that looks like a pretty good consistency. And then lastly, throw in a few thyme leaves, salt, and then we fold in the meat. Beautiful. Excellent. So we can keep that warm. It's going to clear up a few things, and then we can sort out the potatoes for the topping. And then I have to say, the best part of this is adding in, at this stage, some melted butter and seasoning. Stops there being dry patches and things. I think that's such a good idea. There's salt as well. That all mixed together and coated. They lay this out in a separate pot. That's a very nice little copper pan and things that they add to the oven. I think I will put it in a separate pot, but I don't have a copper one, so I'm gonna have to decide on what's the best option. I think why theirs works is there's a bit of height in it. I don't have really any option that has that kind of height, but I reckon this is not too bad and it will look nice coming out of that, I think. Spoon in all of this. Perfect. Base. Now this is the really special bit. Taking these bones here, and we're gonna have them sticking out. The only problem I have is these are exceptionally tall bones, so I don't think this will have quite the same effect. Something almost kind of medieval or Viking about it. It looks quite cool. And yeah, when I saw this, I think it was on the thumbnail, I just immediately was hooked. What do you think? It looks hilarious them being that tall, but we'll see what happens. I'll make it as neat as possible on the top row. Oh yeah. Okay, now we are cooking. Look at that. That's going to go in the oven, back in 160 degrees, I think, for about 35 minutes, basically until the potatoes are cooked. If they're really thin, they might cook faster. I'll keep an eye on them, but let's see how it goes. Cannot wait. All right, it has been a long time coming, but there we go. Not too bad. Probably wasn't quite as thick as it needed to be. It's come through a little bit on the top, but overall, I think we're pretty happy with that. All right, let's get that all over the top. Can you imagine serving that on your table? Here we go. Oh, look at that. Yes, please. Crikey, it's hot. Right. Oh my god, that lamb is so good. Even if something like 50% as good as a fallow one, that is good enough for me. Yes, it takes a while, but this lamb is well worth the wait. So go ahead and check out that fallow video, see how my one compares. If it inspires you to cook it, I definitely recommend giving it a go. Let me know how it turns out. As always, ingredients and recipe will be in the description. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, get cooking.